Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Thursday. Summer day in the market again. Green Day recap, and I want to break through all the trades that I took today. A lot of really good stuff, but another really slow day. So we had a pretty good day, and I'll show you real quick before I get started going over it here. ABVE, Toro, SGN, really all that I had today. So only really 3 stocks that I traded. So we're going to break those down. Not a whole lot of opportunities today, but there actually was some pretty good opportunities today as long as you stayed patient, as long as you stayed picky. So let's go and break it down. Going over the leading gappers of the morning, we had ABV and a couple of others. And ABV was pretty good today, but I had some big issues with it. Execution-wise, super happy with it, but look how much money was left on the table here. And I'll tell you exactly why. Now, I play this off a simple micro pullback here, and you see the initial move here. Of course, this thing gaps up on a minute pullback, and it's just gone. This thing gaps up from 40 cents to 80 cents, 90 cents, and never pulls back. Finally get pullback. Finally take the pullback. And you can see, let me get my pencil here so I can draw you up. And you can see right here, breaks out, comes back, forms a double bottom here. You can see forms this nice double bottom sitting right here off 76 cents. And so I know we have a nice defined area of risk. All right, we pulled back, we put in place some level of support. All through here, you have nothing to risk off of. I mean, what are you risking? The bottom of the last candle? I guess maybe. But that's not enough confluence for me, especially not in this market this week. So finally have some defined risk. I see it pull back underneath VWAP, so I take an entry after it confirms off the pullback. Get a nice move back up into the high of day. Now, issue here was we had a dollar right overhead. I'm viewing that as a psychological level of resistance. So as we near the upper 90s again, I'm like, we're lacking range. I don't want to sit here and overstay my welcome if we're lacking range. So I didn't play it anymore. I took my profits from 83 to about 95 cents. I was happy with that. It's a good trade. And so then I'm watching it, and it pivots over VWAP here, breaks to the upside, pulls back, pivots over VWAP, and holds. I did not take it. The reason, again, why I didn't take it is we had a dollar right overhead. So, again, I don't take it. And looking at the daily, too, I didn't like the daily either. So, it just, the setup wasn't good. It's another case of hindsight 2020. Yes, in hindsight, I can look back and say, oh, I should have taken an entry here. I should have done this. But there was no way to, right? I don't like the setup. I'm not going to go force a trade because, look, while it might have worked out this time, long term is what matters most. And this is not a setup that I would have taken long term. And while you can look back and look at this off of VWAP, it's just not a good look. Here, at least I had range back to a dollar. But here, you're sitting right up underneath a dollar after this double top rejection off a dollar. So again, I just can't really play it. And then you go and look back at the daily time frame. I'll show you here. Just not a good look either. And you look at the daily, and you just see here the issues that I was having. Look at the ugly daily. So there just wasn't great confluence on this. And this is the exact reason why I couldn't really do anything with this. Because we had trendline resistance overhead. It was testing the top of trend. So I don't want to go and try and force this up into a dollar, right? You have a dollar right here, trendline resistance directly overhead. So it's like if we do get the break of a dollar, we don't really have any range. And then we have all this choppy price action through here. So I just didn't like it today. I traded it the way that I did. We had the nice trade, had the profitable trade, and then it was what it was after all of that. Moving on along to Toro out of the bell. I'll save the best for last, and SGN with my best ticker of the morning. So it's almost pretty good out of the bell. I thought I had a lot more in store for it today, and it ended up making a bit of a move later in the morning. But look at the price action on this. And I'm watching it into the bell. This thing looked perfect on the daily. Look at the daily here. I mean, this thing was gorgeous. It made a pretty big move today, but it was just way too choppy. This thing breaks out at market open over the 200 moving average right here, which, oh my God, this thing looks so good. You have the daily high breakout right here in line with the 200 moving average, and we have room here to, what, $3 a share. So this thing looked fantastic, right? This looked really nice. And so we see it break out at the bell. I take the first 1 minute pullback. You can see here. Breaks out of a pre-market highs. Right there in line with the 200 moving average. Right there in line with the daily high. I take the pullback. Boom. And I get a beautiful move. I get a move here. You look at this. I get a move here from 263 straight to 280. A beautiful 10% move. And we had that room here to 3. And so we knew we had room here to 3. So I wanted to give it some more time. And so I gave it some time. I was able to get trimmed down to only having about a half left here. I sold a half up at the highs up into that 280 range. And I wanted to get that move back up through that high of day to 3. And then tape slowed, momentum died, and ended up selling the rest of the entry for a small gain. So again, not a bad trade by any stretch of the imagination, but at least wish we would have gotten some more follow through. Moving over to SGN, and again, you can see all of this is all about confluence. If we have any red flags, I'm avoiding the setup entirely. This was a really good setup here, though, on SGN. Now, a couple of things to note here. I took 2 really small trades. Finally got the big one there towards the end. And the big thing here is, again, the daily was fantastic. Look at the daily. We had the simple breakout here over these past daily highs of $1.33. So already spot on the money there. Looks fantastic. And we knew if we got over $1.33, we had room here to about 160 and then about 2. We had 160 and 2 overhead. We have that identified. We have room to 160 and 2. So cool. Good. So we can go ahead and mark up. We have room up here to 2. You can't even see that line. It's so high up here. We had plenty of range on this. It looked fantastic. And so I see this. It pulls back. All right, it makes the initial move here. Pulls back to about its halfway point of the move. And we see it sort of reject off the 12 EMA here. Buyers come in, bounce up, and volume is decreasing here underneath VWAP. And so I'm looking for the reversal back up through VWAP. A little bit premature on the entry, you can see here. Took it right here off of VWAP, got out break even, just because it just wasn't look like it wanted to break. It then pulled back and then finally decided to go. So I made the right decision here because per my strategy, typically I'm not taking a trade tight underneath VWAP like this because we don't have much upside range. And so I did here. I tried to anticipate the breakout and didn't lose anything on it. But at the same time, a little bit premature. If I would have watched for that entry off this past bottom here, would have been much better. But then you're trying to time the knife here and because we had a bit of volume on that candle. But in any case, waited for it to break, took the pullback entry here for the break of the high, saw rejection off this high, so took a quick profit. And let's just wait for this to break out. Once it breaks, we'll have better confirmation because we already have this double top formed here off the high. So we have this double top formed here in the 150 area. Once we saw the break of 150, once we see price confirm, easy enough. So first candle breaks, of course, not chasing the initial breakout, never ever, because breakouts work in 3 stages. You got the initial breakout, which is your chasers. You have the secondary part of the breakout, which is your profit takers. That's where that retest happens. And then the third part of the breakout is where those buyers start to come back in. And so this breaks out. You have your chasers. Profit takers come in, drill price back down, and all of your panic selling and all that. And then that next candle starts to get bought back up again. You can see here, it gets bought up, sells off, and then gets bought back up again. After it starts to get bought back up, I take my entry when buyers start to step back in with stops at the bottom of the candle. Got to move here from about 152 all the way to about 170 on the play. Of course, once we see this double top off the high, the initial rejection here was not the red flag. Obviously, the initial rejection, I was like, just obviously finding some sellers on the way up here, but normal. But per my system, if a candle makes a new high, as it did here, and instantly rejects back beneath, that's a full exit. So as you can see, once this rejected back beneath this candle, I was out full, took the profit and ran with it. But those were the trades from today. So a really nice day, all things considered, pretty stress-free, very picky, very boring, but a very good green day. It looks like a lot of you guys in chat today over in the community did a really good job today as well. So that was the morning for today. Hopefully this helped you out in some shape or fashion. This is definitely an odd, funky market at the moment, but still definitely doable. Yesterday we did really well with SUGP. Today really did well with SGN. Just staying picky, staying patient until things start to heat back up again. We can get more active. But this is the time to learn so that whenever you're picky in this market, it's much easier to be picky in a hotter market. And again, it just all compounds. So as always, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial to watch me trade these stocks in real time every single day to get my watch list, alerts, education, chat room access, and everything else. That link will be down in the description below. And of course, as always, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this. And I will see you guys over in the room tomorrow morning for another awesome green day 2 in the trading week.